Okay, day 189, part 3, the Mango Express. We're riding on the Mango Pack Express, don't you know? I started at 4 o'clock this morning. I'm 2.5 hours into it, not quite to Iowa yet. I don't know if you've seen the first two videos this morning. The one I started out at 4 and then 5:30 were both pretty dark. That was true because it was pitch black dark when I started the trip. But the sound, the first one was taken down for an hour, then the sound was played with, and so I don't know if it's because I spoke French in the second one, and then the guys at Fort Meade have to print it out and take it over to the French desk. I'm not sure what's the story there. Maybe I should throw a little French in every video now, just to give folks stuff to do at Fort Meade. But if you didn't see this morning, I'm looking at the cost of sending a mango, flying a Pakistani mango from Lahore to Chicago O'Hare, and it was about $208 for FedEx to do that. Now I'm going to Iowa to take the trip of the mango out to the USDA facility in the middle of Iowa, and also I'm trying to actually talk to Noreen Gosh, whose son was kidnapped in the famous 1989 Finders case that Paul Rodriguez wrote, who died young, unfortunately. But a great journalist that I had a chance to work with a little bit in 2003, 2004 on a similar Finders case in Long Island. But having said that about Paul and Paul Rodriguez and the Washington Times and that famous article, I would like to talk to the mother after all this time. She's talked to a lot of journalists, but again, I don't think journalism is heading toward trying to actually go toward a solution and go toward resolution and go toward ground to truth. It's just more sensational splashes that she has seen so far. And I want to, if people know Noreen, I want to let her know in advance I'm not the kind of splash journalist that wants to just write another sensational article. I'm actually looking to unwind these rat lines and just make the deep state try harder, if nothing else. So I don't have any French prepared for this episode, but what I did liken the Saga to is a little bit of a Tolstoy novel in the sense that I don't really bring up these characters unless they're going to keep coming back over and over again. And the Ibrahim that owns the house in Fort Wayne, when he lives in Indianapolis, about 150 miles away, he has the 2 social security numbers. That's odd for an immigrant. It's odd for the immigrant to live in one city and then 150 miles away or 120 miles away have another house where there's 3 other immigrants living. Maybe could be a rich immigrant just deciding to sponsor some folks going to school. But those kids, unfortunately, were involved in drug activity and kind of sexual rat line running. Where the story complicates is one of the social security numbers that Ibrahim has is a dead person from California, a person who died in California in 1991. Now, the story is also more complicated in the sense that these kids refused to become a kill team. And at some point, there's a moral compass in everyone that says, I'm not going to kill somebody. And you, at that point, you're a dog that doesn't hunt. You are of no use to the deep state. And that's why I believe the 3 boys were killed. They were good kids, actually. They were just in a very horrible situation, war-torn situation. I think they could say, okay, I can do the drugs for a while to get my education, to get out of this war-torn situation. I can maybe do the sex setups and so forth, but I cannot kill. And that dog didn't hunt, and they were killed. So, no French this episode, but I'll maybe when I get to Iowa. De moi.